just gonna let him drive by you. If the rest of you are gonna let him catch the ball outside the 3-second lane and drive all the way in here without one guy challenging him, then I'm leaving. And you fucking guys will run till you can't eat supper. Now I'm tired of this shit. I'm sick and fucking tired of the names and record. I'm fucking tired of the losing to Purdue.
I bet you are.
I'm not here to fuck around this week, and you may think that I'm not. No, I'm not. Now I'm gonna fucking guarantee you that if we don't play,
Let it play.
Monday,
Let it roll over you.
You aren't gonna believe the next 4 fucking days.
What?
Now I am not here to get my ass beat on Monday, and you better fucking understand that right now. No, I'm tired of this shit. I'm sick and fucking tired of the natives and record. I'm fucking tired of the losing to Purdue.
Yep.
I'm not here to fuck around this week, and you may think that I'm not. No, I'm not.
All right, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. For all the people in the back, that is one of the best AI songs you'll ever hear. It's an old Bob Knight rant turned into a song by, I got to give credit, by the Assembly Call. Brilliant stuff. And if you didn't listen to that today, I don't know what you've been doing. I hope you're good. Seriously, that song is absolutely money. Absolutely loved it. So hats off to them. They don't have much basketball to watch this season, so they're spending time doing other stuff. Purdue wins 81-76 in Mackey Arena, improves to 17-5 on the season, 9-2 in the Big Ten after a plucky upstart IU team comes into Mackey, fights their ass off in their defense, played really, really well, and Purdue simply did not play well. I'm going to talk all about why it happened, what happened, right after I thank our pals at Home Field Apparel. Head over to homefieldapparel.com, enter Boiled25 at checkout, get 15% off. And when you have just watched Purdue gut out a win when they played poorly for much of the game versus a shitty IU team, you sprint down the sidewalk towards the fire station. You get to the fire station, you turn hard left, you go into AJ's, and there you're going to see Adam and company. The nicest folks on campus. They may have a pint right there ready for you with a Boiled Sports magnet in the bottom. And they'll have some mac and cheese bites or some corn dog nugs, whatever. Warm your soul, warm your heart. Enjoy some time. EatAJ's.com. Burgers, beef, beer. That's AJ's by the fire station. Yeah, so let's talk about this game. Was it pretty? Hell no, it wasn't pretty. Sorry about the language tonight. It is Boiled Sports After Dark. We start out with an explicit song. Sorry, moms and dads out there. Not like Boiled Sports. But I seriously, I thought that song was incredibly good. And there's no way you can do that song without the real lyrics of Bob Knight. And so if I've offended some, I apologize. But I don't think you're going to be too offended. If you are, it's okay. Tell me in the comments. Don't ever do that again, Boiler Dowd. Don't do that. But Purdue played ugly, played flat out ugly. They were in foul trouble for much of the game. The refs, they showed up as much as Heidi and Colvin did, if we're being really honest, if we're just going to pick at some things. What in the world? My dudes, got to hit the open jumpers. Got to hit the open jumpers, my friends. Fletch Lawyer played one half of good basketball and one half of dog meat basketball. Braden Smith played about 7 minutes where it looked like he was on Quaaludes. Absolutely in the second half, I don't know what was happening. He was also playing through. It looked like he got his thumb jammed in the first half. But TKR was a stalwart. As Caleb first got into foul trouble, TKR was also in foul trouble, and he was kind of nursing his way to the end of the game. But man, did TKR make plays. It was his game. It was his game. He played solid. He was absolutely had the hardest assignment. Omar Ballo is a bad dude. He's a big, strong guy. Maybe needs to go talk to Zach Edey about how to get in shape. He can do all that after he leaves IU. In the meantime, he's going to be really a big handful. He's a strong dude. He fouls the hell out of anybody he's guarding, fouls anybody who he tries to go through to get a rebound. Big Ten refs do not care about that. TKR had a tough assignment, and he handled it with flying colors. He had a great game. He absolutely, at the end, Trey Kaufman-Ren's done this twice now, right? Where he's hit clutch free throws, and you're like, oh man, he's not that good of a free throw shooter. Aha. But when you need TKR comes through. Pretty darn clutch stuff. Fletch Lawyer hit a couple key free throws down the stretch. So did Smith. In spite of the fact Smith started the game, Smith and Lawyer started the game. They got two quick, easy chances for points. Free throws. Smith goes 0 for 2. Fletch goes 1 for 2. Very, very weird stuff. Both of them shoot up in the, upper mid 80s. 87%, 87.9% for Fletch and like 86% for Smith. Pretty good stuff. And then to miss those, was it a bad omen? It might have been. I guess there's no such thing as a good omen. Was it an omen? It felt like it. And I tell you what, in the first half, Mrs. Boiler Dowd was frustrated. And that bothers me, Purdue. You made my wife frustrated. She was already thinking ahead to what work would be like and what being around, she's a nurse, and being around IU doctors, not fun in the wake of a loss. But TKR and Smith, if we're being real honest, down the stretch did their thing and helped pull and will Purdue to a victory. Also, LBD, he deserves credit for doing that. He was in the house. Paint crew was brilliant. Top of their game. A+ stuff. 2 games in a row versus Michigan, now versus IU. Paint crew absolutely crushing it. They were loud, dude. They were good. That was fun to hear, fun to see. Let's look at stats together, and we'll talk about comments because a ton of you are on here. Happy to be here. Glad you're here. Glad you're making this part of your post-game ritual. What a fun one to be here for. So here's the thing. I don't like talking pregame trash very much. And the reason I don't is because this was a classic rivalry game where one team rose to the occasion and played above themselves. IU, let's make no bones about what IU is. IU is a uber talented team. And I know IU fans are trying to revise history and say they don't have what they wanted. They went into the portal. They spent tons of money. They have twice the payroll of what Purdue is. We're just talking about the stupid state of college basketball right now. IU pays $5 million plus for their roster. Purdue has $2.5 million on their roster. Those boilers, those tough boilers. Gotta love them. Jakari Harris showed some life today. CJ Cox, man, we're going to love this guy. If we don't already, CJ's the dude. Fletch, though, I think he was 1 for 6 in the first half. Played a great second half. Smith, good at times, struggling at times. They did everything they could. They threw all sorts of different defenders at him. Mabako was on him. Leal, who is an absolute sweetheart, was on him. I think they had Galloway on him points. Galloway played great. Galloway plays very well versus Purdue. And this is a guy that you may not like men in eyeliner, but Galloway is a tough player. He's a guy that I always say, Galloway and Renew, I'd take him right now on Purdue. And that may be sacrilege to some of you. Those two guys are tough. Galloway can you imagine how good Galloway would have been at Purdue? And if you don't know the history, I believe it goes like this. Galloway was really interested in Purdue. Purdue had Ivy make his decision to come to Purdue, Jaden Ivey, and Galloway decided IU. Ever since then, Galloway has played lights out versus Purdue. There's always a couple minutes where he goes off. Tonight, he had 15 points off the bench. That's really good, especially for a guy looking through running eyeliner. I mean, that's tough. Like it gets in your eyes and it burns. It's tough stuff. All right, let me look at the stats. Like I said, Purdue improves to 17-5 on the season, 9-2 in the conference. They stay in the fight. They stay in the battle with Michigan State with this win. It would have been really hard to be seriously a contender losing this game. Losing 2 of 3 at home. Holy moly. That's like a death wish. But instead, Purdue is dragged across the finish line by TKR. TKR finishes with 23 points. Let me see if I can get these minutes because I don't think they're up yet. Nope, still not up. Okay. TKR finishes with 23 points on just 10 of 13 shooting from the field. 3 for 3 from the stripe. On top of that, he had just 4 boards, and that's a big story. Let me jump all over that. In the first half especially, Purdue couldn't rebound, and I guarantee, let's see. Yeah, they got crushed on the boards. Back to that crap. couple games ago, Purdue was getting beaten on the boards. Again, this happened today. IU out rebounds Purdue by 6. 32-26, and it was awful. When Purdue was on defense, I was on offense. They were getting second and third chances in the first half. They had a very ugly stretch in the first half, put IU up by 4. They were up by as many as 7 in the first half. That stuff matters. All scores were led by Mackenzie Mbako on the other side. Knocked down a couple open jumpers that were really important, but Braden Smith leads all Boilers with 24 points. Shot the ball a lot, 11 for 21, and he didn't fill the stat sheet like he usually does. It's a very different scoring sheet. Hardly any rebounds. 1 board, 7 assists, that's familiar, and then 6 steals. 6 steals, and then to match his 6 steals, 6 turnovers. Purdue had 10 turnovers. IU had 20. Purdue's defense, again, is a difference maker. Just like they were versus Michigan, the defense sets up the offense. It wasn't quite as dynamic, but in the beginning, it looked like Purdue was set up to do big things, and IU was fighting and scratching and clawing. You got to take your hats off and say, good job, IU. But I'm all for Mike Woodson staying at IU forever. Well, I'm going to be real honest. Boy, though, at the end of the game, is there a team that's worse in America than IU? If it's a close game, they are going to pee down their leg. There's no doubt about that. I don't know what Woodson's doing with his timeouts. I have no idea. But one of the dumbest plays of the whole game was you had Mbako, who had been playing pretty well. He cooled a little bit, shooting pretty well, though. You had Ballo, who Purdue could not stop with 4 fouls. Galloway, who had killed Purdue on 2 or 3 of the previous 5 possessions for IU. And Miles Rice says, I'll take this shot. So Miles Rice takes an ill-advised shot. Purdue gets the rebound. TKR gets it, goes down, knocks down the free throws, ends the game. Low basketball IQ stuff by IU, and that goes back to coaching. So we can say it now. I think we can all say it in unison. Purdue's a bad 3-point shooting team. I think we can say that. Tonight, they went 2 for 13 from deep. IU was playing good defense. IU was playing that stupid brand of defense where you dare officials to blow the whistle every call. Leal, man, screw that guy. But Leal was just draped on Purdue all game. His fake nice guy bit, I don't buy it. He's a punk. And then you had, if you watched away from the ball, Goody would literally bear hug first when he would go through the lane. I mean, I know he's stronger than you, but come on, man. I know you guys, is it right? All those guys are Fort Wayne guys. I'm sure I'll get some correction on this, but I can never remember. Goody played with either Fletch or Caleb in high school. I just can't remember which one. So Fort Wayne boys run thick. Off the bench, Jakari Harris played great. He tried to yam and absolutely put the game away. Ends up with 9 points tonight. Fletch Lawyer, 15 points after a really bad first half. 4 for 10 from the floor, 1 for 6 in the first half. Also had 4 boards, really important boards. CJ Cox, gotta love him. 4 points, 4 boards. Just 1 steal. That's all he gets credit for. It's crazy. And Caleb First, quiet day, 1 point. 3 steals, frustrated all day with foul trouble. It was like he was the guy, if you watch college football, pro football, the guy who does the dumb thing last. So he'd get pushed around, punched, whatever. He'd kind of do it back. He'd get whistled. The officials, like I said, a bang-up night for you guys. Horrible, atrocious night of officiating. It's one of those days where I think both sides would say that. IU fans will say that. Purdue fans will say that. Want to see the difference maker? This might be it. Purdue hit 75% of their free throws, went to the line a lot, 21 of 28. IU goes 56% from the line, 9 of 16, and the differential in the game is 5 points. Kind of seems like you should hit your free throws. All right, let's go. Good to see Purdue stay in the hunt. Let's talk to you guys tonight. I'm going to have to go over these somewhat quick, I think, but Quinn says BTFU and IC is first. He's second. Chris Harder, my friend, I have not talked to him in a while. I flew with his company recently with my bride, and you guys were very hospitable. Thank you, Chris. Ted Berkey says survive and win. Yeah, it's definitely survival night. What's this? Oh, let's see. Yeah, LBD's hitting me some stats. I'm not going to be able to look at those until this is over. Nate Dolan says, boiler up. Need to be in verse. Andrew says, my man B-Dad, how are you? Yeah, got the victory. And I'm sure that's not your type of music, Andrew. I bet you did not love that intro. I just kind of feel it. I haven't talked to you a lot in depth, but you're one of the people that I'd say probably wasn't your jam. That was my jam though, right there. Let's see. Kevin Albuquerque says, this is such a beautiful start to the pod. Yeah, thank you. Zach Young, dance it up. Yeah, dude, I love to dance. Honestly, at a good wedding, I will absolutely throw it down. I'll shred it. And Eric Brickley says, this team is tough. Boiler up. The song is a banger, Nate. You're right. Ron Gable's here. My buddy Ron Gable. Zach Young says, what song is this? The song it's called Tired, and it was put together by AI and Assembly Call. They did a really good job, like making Knight's transcript of his rant with Greg Graham going off on Purdue after they had an 8-10 record. I remember that in the song. Remember that in the original thing. And check out Assembly Call's Twitter feed if you want to listen to it. It's pretty good. I hate to send you there, but that's good work. Let's see. Go down here. Buddle FTW says, boiler up, hammer down. Buddy. I don't know how to say it. Buddy. Is that Fort Wayne? Evansville Boiler says, never had a doubt. Yeah, you and me both. Shane Hinkle says, winning despite a drought from behind the arc. Boiler up, baby. These droughts keep coming. I think there's reason to have concern, but the defense is so darn good right now. Everything's fine. Adam P says, wow, always good to beat IU. Man, that was too close. Agreed. Kevin in Albuquerque says, major props to whoever in the crowd had the extend Mike Woodson side. Yeah, that was funny. The funnier one, though, and LBD told me about this, was the Mike Woodson circle with the open to work LinkedIn banner. Pretty funny. That's real funny. I didn't see it on TV. Chris Curtis says, an IU fan made the point that IU's last chance probably turns out differently if they had Leal in there versus the contested Rice shot. I think that's right. I don't care. I don't care. Leal deserved to have 8 or 9 fouls today. If you go back and watch the film of that IU fan, I know you're not the IU fan, but your friend is the IU fan. Go back, watch the first half. Watch what Leal was doing. Getting away with damn murder. I'm convinced his dad or his uncle was officiating that game. That was unbelievable. Guess what Purdue did? They fought through bad officiating and still won. Joe Bear says, great rivalry game. That was one of those. Ron Gable says, winning ugly is good enough tonight. Jeff Nestor, how about that TKR clutch 15-foot hook shot to win the game? Yeah, that was awesome. He was pushed so far out. Ballo did such a good job at not allowing TKR to get position late in the game. Hats off to Ballo. I don't know how many millions he's paid, but I mean, that play alone was worth a couple million. Nita B. Inverse says, my cardiologist does not appreciate my Purdue basketball habit. No regrets. Yeah, I'm with you. Tonight, I got a little bit intense. Chris R., I'm with you. Chris R. says, man, those refs were bad. Thankfully, evened out the end. They were real bad. They were NCAA officials. So that's why are we ever surprised? A game that's well officiated is a surprise. We don't get that. Evansville Boiler says, still can't figure out how we couldn't find someone to stay in front of Trey Galloway. Yeah, Trey Galloway, he's creative. I can say that much. He carried on 2 of those and probably cleared out on 1. But dude finds a way. Like I said, dude finds a way. Matt Killer, 2 threes and still scored 81 points. This team can win a lot of different ways. They can. But boy, if they could figure out how to hit the 3. And if Heidi and Colvin, man, boys, come in off the bench, cold, knock down to 3. I know it's asking a lot, but they did it last year. Purdue needs it bad. Purdue needs that bad. They are missing it. It's a great thing to get over the hump if you can have a guy come out and be that injection of energy, bomb that 3, keep you on the court a little bit longer. But Shane Hinkle says, we were definitely owed that no call at the end after the ridiculously unnecessary complete game stop by the refs. Yeah, that game stop you're talking about, the one where it grazed the rim and the ref just said, no, we're gonna make it about me. Always my favorite thing. There was no reason to call that replay. But anyway, Derek Mulligan says, if IU played this way all year, they'd be top 25. No doubt. The poll wants them in there, right? The media wants them in the top 25. They played super hard. And they're, like I said, they're talented. They're talented. Nate Dolan says, always tough playing a rival. Galloway pick and roll with Purdue's drop coverage was killing us. Gritty win. Concerned about the three-point shooting going forward. Yeah, the Bob Knight music. It's jam. Greg Mitchell says, Robbie Hummel is now officially the worst broadcaster we can possibly get. He supports every bad call against Purdue. His obvious obsession with avoiding the Purdue homer tag. Yeah, he does that a lot. I've become used to it. I complained a lot last year. I love Benetti. I think he's really, really good. I think Hummel is great if Purdue is not favored in the game. I mean, like, great. And Benetti was hilarious before the game. He compared Mackey Arena to a horror movie when everybody knows what's coming except for the person who's about to get taken out by the axe murderer. That was pretty funny. T-Rex says, Purdue doesn't deserve a lot of love after this game from anyone outside of Indiana. They're a top 10 team. I don't think you're going to see a lot of people give them disrespect after this one. So, a lot can be said about, having a week off. Generally, I think with a Painter coach team is a positive. Purdue looked pretty flat at times today, but they did not play well. Judith Johnson says TKR damn gritty. Yeah, he played awesome. Quinn says rivalry games real tough. Wasn't pretty. Take the W. Only got to win by 1, and they did. Ben Carnahan, my pal from meeting him back at the Final Four, says, man, I wouldn't want to see IU. I want to see IU if I was a team in the NIT. Yeah, that's a good point. Good. They're going to be a tough NIT team. Let's see. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Evansville Boiler says, have to have Heidi and Colvin knock down threes when they have a chance for a deep run. Nancy Williams says, refs were awful. I agree, Nancy. I'm going to get down here. Paul S. from Class of 88 says, Assembly Hall will be out for blood in the rematch. Freshmen need to be ready for IU. There's two ways to look at this, Paul, and I've been thinking about this. IU could be absolutely circling the drain by that point. And I'm not positive about that, but they could be. It could be really rough. Really rough for IU. Right now, they're in big trouble. They've fallen below 500 in conference. They're 5-6 now. They started, I think they were 4-0. So I think they're 4-0. So this is, you could have mutiny on the decks real soon there. Evansville Boiler says, really like the grit of the freshman. Harris has turned into a clutch free throw shooter. Yeah, that was really big. Done it a couple times now. Geoduck says, I hated how Painter left Cox on the bench for 10 minutes in the second half. I think we run away with him if he gets CJ in. Yeah, Cox is awfully good. Cox and Harris, when they're on the court together, there's the glimmer of magic. You can already see it. Harris and Cox are going to be fun to watch. They're really, really good. Chris Harder says, instead of shaking hands at the end of the game with this team, Omar Ballo went straight to the locker room. He was very sad. I saw that. He looked like he was crying. Get off his back. He was in his feelings, right? Nancy Williams says Painter just said on the radio show that he should have given CJ more minutes. Yeah, he should have. Paint is not perfect on his sub patterns, but if you ever want to complain, just look over on the other side. Mike Woodson's substitutions make no sense. And I understand why IU fans are frustrated with him. Judith Johnson says IU played like they needed it. They really needed the win. Kyle Seago says Cox is a revelation. Can't wait to see him as he grows up. Blake Widmer says got some bourbon to celebrate. I am drinking Weller tonight. I don't know what you're drinking, Blake. So glad we're sharing long distance together. Nate Harden, my old buddy says great grit from Purdue. Cam and Miles have been so disappointing this year. They have to get more from those. And they've got plenty in the tank. I still believe in these guys. They're just not playing to their potential. I think neither one of them's particularly confident right now. Can make all the difference in the world. Kyle Seago. Sam Lovejoy says, as a Fort Wayne boy, we do run thick. Yeah. Fort Wayne was all over the court tonight. Represent. Handel Jones. I played the theme song. Hope you're happy. That was Handel's suggestion. It was a good suggestion. Say Goody and Fletch were at Homestead. Thank you, Handel. Coming through. Kind of an honorary BS data analytics type of thing, or analytics desk. Thank you, Handel. Let me scroll down a little bit. Evansville Boiler says, how can you be a Big Ten official and not know when the ball's at the rim? Well, they're in poor position. Poor position, not paying attention to the right things. Pretty simple. Not surprising, right? John Timmons says Dockage is the only guy that can bring IU back to their glory days. This is a good point. Thank you, John. If IU is going to go back to the greatness that Knight created, it has to be in the coaching tree. So are you thinking Dockage number 1 candidate and Alford? I like it. I like where you're going. There's some balloons for that one. Yo says the sad thing is Woodson, for being so terrible as a coach, was 3-3 against Painter. Painter's now up 1. Yep. And IU fans will remind you about that. If you talk to any of them, they'll say even if they split this year, he'll be 4-4 versus Paint. It's wild. Let's see. Chris Phelps says all the classic hallmarks of a game Purdue let slip away, and they found a way to win it. I feel that, Chris, and I felt that. I was not in a good place at the end of the game. I was like, damn it, here we go. So, yeah, I'm with you. Michael JB says Colvin, a bit of a momentum killer lately. Good on D, but hurt us offensively. His shot in close. And Heidi, worse than the shot not being close, is not taking it. He's getting open looks, and he's pump faking. He missed one, but he had one that was perfectly in rhythm. These dudes can both fill it up, and I just want him to get it back. You just get the idea, get it in your hands. If it's in rhythm, pull the trigger. You guys are too good for this. Boiler Bugle says, I'll watch non-Purdue game just to hear Robbie on the call. Robbie's very good. He's still very good. He's just not awesome when Purdue's there. Doug and Angie Lotta says refs need to go. They're bad both ways. I don't think we're going to be able to avoid referees, sadly. John Hawks says free throws are going to cost us this year, and they have. Let's see. Jacqueline Green says our bench is just too streaky. Need to be more consistent. I think the bench overall is actually improving. I mean, because we're getting points off the bench. That is tons better than it was back in early January. So I would argue if you can get Heidi and Colvin now joining the party, Purdue could be kind of deadly off the bench because you're getting a couple guys that are contributing. So that's good stuff. Boiler Bugle says Alford will never. Boiler Bugle, could you expound? Could you tell me why? Why would he never? I mean, unless we ask, how will we know? So, yeah, Dockett and Alford, those are my two candidates. Morgan, Mohel93 says, just joined, started at the beginning. I was not ready for that banger. Yeah, it's something to bob your head to, if we're being really honest. If you're in the car, yeah, that's right. And I tweeted this out. I said, it's Trey Day. Today's Trey Day. So if you're a hip-hop head, you can hear the reference to Dre Day. Then you have a nice... it's more of a soul or a R&B song, but with, absolutely West Coast filth lyrics. Thanks to Bobby Knight. Zach Welch says, Chris Beard has let's not talk about that. We're not going to talk about that, Zach. I don't want to talk about it. He's not even a candidate. He's not on my list. Guys that are going to come to IU, he is not on my list. Chris Beard's not on there. Nate Oates is not on there. Not on there. Not on my list. Sorry, guys. I just can't. I can't get behind that. I think it's Dockett's time. And on that note, I think I'm going to call it a day. That is a quick post game for such a fun game. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it with friends, with loved ones, like I did in a dark room. There's somebody up here that I didn't. Devout says, thought Caleb was a no-show tonight. Maybe you should have tried Berg first few minutes, got it out to win. So interesting idea with having Berg in there, especially against Ballo's strength and his mass. I don't think that would have been a bad play. The problem is Berg, I know he was injured earlier. I would have kind of liked to seen that, especially when first got some foul trouble. Burgess came in, did okay. Tried his hardest. I don't know how to spin that. He did not look, it wasn't his best game. But Ballo is a handful. Let's not forget. I mean, sure, Edie didn't struggle against Ballo, but Ballo's legit talent at Arizona. He does not look like he's in top shape to me. He'll be a good pro, but let's see. John Hawks, good point. We won, they lost. And Kevin Albuquerque has a horrible idea, says it'll be Rick Pitino. Yeah, and Anish said that right before he came on. That's another guy. He's not on my list. But for some reason, Rick Pitino, a very, very old Rick Pitino, filthy, STD-riddled Rick Pitino, seems like a good fit down in Bloomington. I think they'd like that. So Maybe he will be the guy. Yeah, Beard's problems with assaulting women. Yeah, he doesn't assault players. That they don't like that. They love it when a coach assaults players. So really doesn't matter. It's not our team. It's their battle to fight. Have fun with it. In the meantime, extend Mike Woodson. It's the right thing to do. Purdue is solid, even when they're not good. Purdue improves too. I'll give it one more time. 17-5, 9-2 in the conference after beating IU 81-76 at Mackey Arena. The first of two contests. The next one will be at Ass Hall in a couple weeks, and hopefully Purdue can catch IU when they're really down in the dumps and really just in a horrible place, and the fans are chanting "Fire Mike Woodson." That'd be a nice night. I'll sign up for that. If not, Purdue's going to have to put their big boy pants on and come for their A game and play the game. Good win tonight. Purdue next up. Let's see who they got. No more week break this time. They've got, I haven't been looking ahead very much. Oh yeah, at Iowa before welcoming USC to home. Iowa's been a tough place to play. Let's see how Purdue can do. Yeah, Boiler Bugle, great point. This is a good candidate. I don't know why. Pat Knight. Excellent. That's an excellent candidate. And I think that's got to be their first call. I think that's before Dawkins. You call Pat Knight. He's got proven track record as a head coach. That's a good job. Good point. So we've done it. We've helped IU hire their next coach if they need to, but they don't. They've got their guy. Their guy is there. God bless you. Hammer down. We'll talk to you soon. See ya.